A pleasant day, everyone. I'm Joyce Mariel E. Inova, and I'm going to discuss to all of you the topic about multicultural literacy. But before we discuss it, let's know first where multicultural word was first used in the root word of it. So, multicultural was first used in the mid-20th century. It often referred to Canada, and multi means many, and cultural comes from Latin cultura, which means cultivating. So what is multicultural literacy? So multicultural literacy consists of the skills and ability to identify the creators of knowledge and their interests, to uncover the assumption of knowledge, to view knowledge from diverse ethnic and cultural perspective, and to use knowledge to guide action that will create a humane and just world. According to Good, multicultural literacy should help students to develop 21st century skills and attitudes that are needed to be active citizens who will work on achieving the social justice within our communities. In addition, the growing racial, language, and ethnic diversity in our country, multicultural literacy are needed to be transformed in substantial ways that will prepare students to function effectively in the 21st century through making small changes within a classroom that will also create big changes globally. So, multicultural literacy also is a set of skills and knowledge that's difficult to define because of how it changes depending on the context in which it's discussed. Multicultural literacy is all understanding of different cultures in a diversified society. This shows that multicultural literacy not just depends on the recall time of significant facts, but on the growing knowledge and appreciation for global intellectual heritage of different disciplines. In America, multicultural literacy has a very strong learnings toward knowing or identifying the polyethnic origins of knowledgeable with the express of fostering quality, diversity, and social justice. Education and multicultural literacy help to attain skills and attitudes toward commitment that are needed to be an active citizen who will work on social justice in their states, nation, and the world. Literacy education that focuses on social justice that will educate both head and hearts of the students. Moreover, in Europe, multicultural literacy comes more in the form of intercultural communication and competence. ICC is an area of study that becoming more relevant, increasingly multicultural communities that we live in. And Dawson Massetti Steinbach defined it as a composite of skills, abilities, attitudes, personality, patterns, and etc. that are necessary for clear and productive communication with cultures other than our own. In addition, multicultural literacy is the knowledge and skills necessary to ensure that any communication with a culture different from our own is clear and product, and neither culture is deemed or treated as inferior. In a classroom settings that students are contained with different races, religions, and cultural groups, students are able to embrace diversity, incorporate ideas and beliefs with people that have different cultural values, pattern of practice, communication, and cultural backgrounds. Now, let's go on in the skills and knowledge that are required to be multiculturally literate. So there are skills and knowledge that are required to be multiculturally literate. So first is selflessness. So selflessness, you should not just think about yourself and consider other people that have different culture from you. Be patient and understand their norms and beliefs. Second is knowledge that good and useful things can come from those different from us. The things that you discover and learn from different culture can be important, good, and useful. The third one is willingness to compromise and acceptance that there are limits. It is important to have cultural awareness and sensitivity and understand that there always be a limit. Realize that not everyone from a particular background acts and live just the same thing from us. So let's build respect and empathy for everyone, because we are all unique in our own ways of life. So let's celebrate differences because we belong in one race. So the last skills and knowledge that are required to be multiculturally literate is idea that we cannot be friends with everyone. Our world is getting bigger and richer, and understanding different culture is more than appreciation for our differences. It is paving the way in the world that we are all stand together. But we must understand that we cannot be friends with everyone, that there always be a limit, and we should respect and understand it. Furthermore, according to Wood, education for multicultural literacy should help students to develop the 21st century skills and attitudes that are needed to become active citizens who will work towards achieving social justice within our communities. Because of the growing racial, language, and ethnic diversity in our country, multicultural literacy needs to be transformed in substantial ways to prepare students to function effectively in the 21st century. Booth asserted that small changes within a classroom creates big changes globally. And as diversity grows, there's a need of emergence of multicultural education. And the more representative of students in today's classroom is multicultural education. And additions, according to Banks, teaching students to advocate multiculturalism sends a message to empathy and tolerance in schools to develop deeper understanding to others and appreciation to different cultures. So now, let's go on. In the three dimensions are related to content, integration, knowledge, instruction, and equity pedagogy. According to Banks, multicultural, diverse perspective instruction is compromised by three different dimensions and important dimensions. First is content integration. So, content integration is when sensitive, accurate, and non-biased content representing a variety of cultures and groups should be used to illustrate key concepts principles, generalization, and theories. Second is knowledge instruction. So, as students construct knowledge about the content, they must be helped to view concepts, issues, and problems from diverse cultural perspectives. And the last dimension is equity pedagogy. To ensure equity for all students, teachers must modify their teaching in ways that will facilitate the academic achievement of students from diverse racial, cultural, gender, and social class groups. The studies indicate that there is a direct link between the way students see themselves in the classroom and the way they perform. So students also benefit from reading literature that reflects their own ethnic and cultural background. Such literature can be important tool in helping all students to develop a healthy self-concept, one that is based on knowledge of and a sense of pride and family background. As you can see, multicultural literacy is a skill that uncovering a bias in regard to culture. And students needs to understand the different perspectives of different cultures because it allows themselves to grow as a responsible citizen who respect and embrace the differences of people in one society. And through diversifying curricula, educating teachers in a multicultural and diverse education, diversifying teaching materials, and diversification of educator population, we can able to close the achievement gap and create more equitable educational system while making social changes and racist relation and more better education to our